Hey, you're in that movie. Screenshot. I looked it up once.
All right. Tomorrow your bell work is due after you do your bell work. Okay, after tomorrow's bell work. So tonight, get it prepared so that you have all your bell work pages together and stapled together and enough room to do your 5 questions tomorrow. And after bell work, I will be collecting it and it will be graded. It's a great book. I can tell, I know if you were absent, then I don't count those days. But if you were here, you should have bell work for those days. Bell work assignment is worth 30 points. If you chose not to do bell work for the last 3 weeks, which some of you have chosen, and you don't have anything to turn in, it will, I guarantee you that whatever grade you have in this class now, by Monday morning, you will have an F. Bell work is a big part of your grade. There's no excuse for not doing it. Yes or no? Yes, thank you. If you did it all in a notebook, you can make sure your name is on the notebook. You can turn in the whole notebook, and I will give you back the notebook on Monday. Okay, so if you did it in a spiral book, don't feel like you got to rip the pages out, just make sure your name's on it. Okay. So, a lot of you that look forward to sports and stuff, then if you chose not to do anything in my class so far, tomorrow will be your last football game, I'm sure. So you will be academically disqualified. Okay. I will make sure the coach gets your grades.
We just can't send it. I'll get back to it in the season.
So, the other day we were questioning about what does it mean when it asks for domain and range. Domain and range, those were questions on your pre-test. Okay. And only a couple of people had gotten that right, so we need to look at domain and range. Okay, domain. The collection. The collection of all input values. Domain is the collection of all input values. So what do you think that means range is going to be? Austin?
That's going to be the hypothesis.
The collection of all output.
Dang it. That's the hypothesis, right?
So, domain is the collection of all input values. Range is the collection of all output
So
values.
it means like the X and Y are
The domain is like the X. Range is like the Y.
Oh, okay.
AJ.
So on Friday, or whenever we took our last board, we all didn't know this. Is supposed to be any real number. What's considered like a real number?
1 through 6.
So actually, just anything you would have put on Friday that fit on that line
Those graphs.
was, but it had to fit on that graph, on that line. Okay, so I'm going to be looking for you to be more specific with your answers. If I take an equation or a function, y equals 3x plus 4, and I build my table, for it. Remember, my table is x over y, so if I put in my values of -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2, 1 and 2, what are my y's going to be? If x is -2, what's my y going to be?
Negative, no, positive. Negative
-2. -2. So are all my x's and y's going to be the same? Because if x is -1, y is positive.
I said that.
X is 0,
Y is 0.
Or 4.
and x is 1,
7.
and for 2,
10. 10.
okay. So for those values of that function, what is my range? So -2, 1, 4, 7, 10 is my range. And my domain for those values of that function, my domain, Jacob? Those values, for those values given in that function, what is my domain? That's what happens when you just don't pay attention to technology. I see it. I see. You know, from up here, I see a whole lot of stuff that you don't see.
I see a lot of stuff.
Steven?
-2, -1, 0, 1, 2.
Yeah, -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. Okay, so
The
that's
entire X.
the values of x are the domain, the values of y are the range. Okay, so that's pretty simple, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, could I also say that my range, can my range be equal to 3?
Yes.
No.
Oh, on that note.
Because 3 doesn't fit in there. So my range can't be equal to 3. You're going to see problems on tests like that. It's going to ask you, can your range be equal to 6?
No.
Can your range be equal to 7?
Yes.
Yes.
And if that was just an open function without being inclusive of this table without being inclusive of this table. Can my range be equal to -5?
No.
Yes.
No.
With that?
Not
Yeah.
inclusive of this table, yes it can. Because if my range, if -5 was a y, that would make my x a -3. Okay, not inclusive of that. But yes, it is part of my, that part of my range. So, how can I find that if you're given something like that? Is can -9, is -9 in my range? Can that be in my range?
No.
When I'm in doubt, I can just plug it in up here. I can say -9. Okay, so I'm going to subtract 4. That would be -9 minus 4 would be -13 equals 3x divided by 3. It doesn't go in evenly, so no, it's not going to work. Okay. Now in life, how often are you going to be, I keep telling you, you're going to use math all the time. You use it constantly. You just don't realize it. But does anybody ever walk, other than in math class or in school, do people walk up to you and ask you to solve a math problem by giving you something like this?
No. Never happened to me.
Well, I mean, if you get like a check at a restaurant.
Okay?
Yo, what's like X?
What they do, though, is that they come up and they say to you things like, maybe not quite the specific, but we're going to make it so it's easier for you.
Boston bread.
Never heard that either.
Cost of the function of cans of soda purchased.
Never heard.
Cans cost 50 cents each. You buy from 1 to 10 cans. Cans cost 50 cents each, and you buy from 1 to 10 cans. What's my domain? That function.
Any number.
The number.
25. 2,000.
What's 10 cans?
Oh, 1 to 10.
So what'd you come up with, Armando? What's my domain? What are my possible input values? Jacob,
1 to 10.
1 to 10. Okay, my domain is 1 to 10. Okay, because I can put that in there. Any number 1 to 10 inclusive. So what's my range? AJ,
50 cents to $5.
50 cents to $5. in increments of 50 cents. Okay? You have to include the in increments of 50 cents, otherwise, you said 50 cents to $5, 75 cents could be, that's it falls in there. So you have to say in 50-cent increments. Or you have to list them all up. 50 cents, $1, $1.52. Just like an auctioneer, rattle them off quick. So how might you hear that problem in real world? Okay. How might you hear that in real world?
Buy three, get one free.
Buy three, get one free. BOGO, buy one, get one.
Just buy one, get one free.
Okay.
Just make a deal at like.
Okay, all these things, we use them together. I got the first kid to hit me with the gold card. I bought it from him. That was revenue. Okay. I've already almost gotten my money back. Okay. Because at Magali's or Pablo's, it's buy one, get one half price. So, Mrs. Crandall and I eat out a lot. Pretty much on the days that she's here, we eat at one of these restaurants. So, you might also use this with, somebody says, here's $3, go buy soda, or go buy me a soda. Mind you're honest, selling soda for 50 cents, how much do they get back with their soda? $2.50. And you guys can do that without any problem because you know how to do the math. You know how to do the math.
If you're getting paid, like if you're a waitress, some places have like a certain amount that you can get tips. So then you can say like your monthly bill or your monthly payment will be like I don't know, $100 plus $5 each person. Some time someone comes in, so that's 5x plus 100.
Yeah. And that's a great example because waitresses count on their tips.
Some places do it, a certain amount of people, their tip cuts automatically out of
Yeah.
their paycheck.
And when they do that to me, that's calculated at like 18%. That's what they get. I don't give any more. It's usually I tip about 30%.
Oh yeah. I feel like 15%.
Because they have to constantly be refilling my tea.
That's all my dad drinks. He won't drink anything else.
Because I'm always drinking here. At the restaurant, I drink 7 or 8 glasses of tea.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot. My dad drinks like 3.
Guys, hey, we're not done yet. We're not done yet. You understand the difference between domain and range?
Yes.
Okay, so. Suzette, what's the difference between domain and range? There you go. Domain is the input value, range is the output value. If you have a graph, that's why I got the graphing on there.
Yeah.
Okay, if I gave you that, figuring that there were numbers in there, which there aren't, but my domain of line AB, my domain of line AB would be any value of X that falls anywhere on this line. And how far does the line go if I don't put a terminator?
It's infinite.
But if I say that I just want to know the ones for segment AB, am I going to have an unlimited number of domain or range? No, because I'm only going to have the ones that fall between the 2 points. Okay, so you remember the segment and the line are two different things. You guys brought that knowledge with you from last year. Connor, quit tearing on my wall. Okay. Friday, we're not going to do the post-test DFA tomorrow, like we normally do them on Fridays. We're going to have it on Tuesday. Tomorrow, come in and do your bell work, and then I'm going to collect all the bell work from everybody. And this weekend, I will score it and put it in the grade book.